All right, let's get right into it. We're not just talking about another reality TV show today. No, we're going way deeper. We're exploring a genuine cultural phenomenon, one that grabbed an entire industry, the super exclusive, high stakes world of luxury real estate, and just turned it completely on its head. This is the story of how a TV show didn't just document a profession, it actually reinvented it from the ground up. It created a whole new blueprint for what success looks like, a new definition of marketing, and really a new breed of celebrity agent that just didn't exist before. Today, we're breaking down the powerful and truly lasting legacy of million-dollar listing. This single sentence, it just perfectly captures the show's incredible impact. And believe me, it's not an exaggeration to say it changed everything. Before this show, the whole idea of a real estate agent being a household name, that was almost laughable. They were service providers, they were facilitators working quietly in the background. But Million Dollar Listing, well, it completely rewrote the rules. So in this explainer, we're going to unpack every single part of that statement, the entertainment, the stars, and that wave of inspiration to really get to the bottom of its legacy on business and media. And before we jump in, if you enjoy deep dives like this one, do me a quick favor. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And hey, if you're looking for a real estate agent in your market, or maybe you need life insurance, my team and I can help you out anywhere nationwide. Just check out the links in the description below. Okay, so here's our game plan for today. First, we're going to go back in time to the birth of a phenomenon and see what the real estate world was like before MDL came crashing in. Then we'll break down the NY and LA blueprint to figure out the secret formula that made it such an instant smash hit. From there, we'll get into forging real estate icons, looking at how regular agents became full-blown superstars. After that, we'll zoom out and look at the huge ripple effect in reshaping an entire industry. And finally, we'll tie it all together with the million-dollar legacy and figure out the key lessons we can all learn from this whole thing. So let's really set the scene here. I want you to picture the mid-2000s. The economy is just flying high, and the luxury real estate market is, well, it's absolutely booming. But the people making these massive multi-million-dollar deals happen, you'd never know who they were. They were largely anonymous. I'm talking about incredibly skilled professionals working their tails off behind the scenes, known only within their own elite circles, but totally invisible to the public. Their success was measured by closed deals and happy clients, not by social media followers or name recognition. The agent was just a facilitator, never the main event. Now, right at this exact moment, you've got the Bravo network, and they are on the hunt. They'd already kind of perfected a certain brand of reality TV with shows like Project Runway and Top Chef. They were looking for their next big thing, and they had a very specific recipe in mind. They needed glamour to pull people in, they needed high financial stakes to build that nail-biting tension, and this is the most important part. They needed big personalities and real, raw human drama to keep people glued to their seats. So they look over at the high-pressure, big ego world of luxury real estate, and they see an absolute untapped gold mine. All the ingredients were right there, just waiting for someone to put a camera on them. So you have the idea, but how do you turn that into a hit show? Well, that brings us to the actual creation and the specific, repeatable format that Bravo cooked up. And let me tell you, this was no accident. It wasn't a lucky shot in the dark. It was a very carefully crafted blueprint for success that they would soon copy in the biggest, most cutthroat real estate markets in the country. And in doing so, they basically defined a whole new genre of television. And what's really wild when you look at the timeline is just how fast this all went down. Bravo spots the concept in the mid-2000s, and by 2006, they don't just launch one show, they launched two right on top of each other. First up was New York, which just perfectly captured that aggressive, high-pressure, lightning-fast pace of Manhattan real estate. We're talking sky-high penthouses, ruthless negotiations happening in crowded coffee shops, deals closing in a matter of minutes. Then, almost right away, they launched Los Angeles. And this version had a totally different but just as addictive vibe. The sprawling mega mansions, the celebrity clients, the sheer spectacle of Hollywood living. Dropping both in the same year showed some serious confidence in the formula, and man, was it a smart move. It let them showcase two completely different but equally fascinating luxury worlds from day one. So what was this magic formula? This secret sauce? It was this brilliant dual focus that really satisfied two different viewer cravings at the same time. On one side, you had the professional. We, the audience, got this exclusive behind-the-scenes pass to see how these huge deals actually get done. The over-the-top marketing, the super tense negotiations, the jaw-dropping properties. It was educational, it was aspirational. It felt like you were peeking behind a very, very private curtain. But the real hook was step two. The personal stuff. The show dove headfirst into the rivalries between agents, their complicated friendships, and all the drama that's bound to happen when you mix big egos, big money, and huge stakes. That's what made it must-see TV. That's what kept us coming back. It was a business show disguised as a primetime soap opera. And this gets to a really critical point that made Million Dollar Listing different from a lot of other reality shows. For the agents who signed up, this was never just about getting their 15 minutes of fame. No, no, no. This was a calculated, strategic business decision. The show became a living, breathing, high-definition masterclass in personal branding. It gave them a level of marketing and public exposure that was simply impossible to get through traditional means like billboards or ads in a magazine. They weren't just selling houses on camera, they were selling themselves as the absolute best in the business to a massive, captivated audience of millions. Which leads us directly to the show's biggest, most lasting impact. We've talked about the format, but now let's talk about the product it created. Because more than just a TV show, Million Dollar Listing became a full-blown star-making machine. It took talented, incredibly ambitious real estate agents and systematically turned them into international celebrities. It literally created a new kind of icon that just hadn't existed before, the celebrity realtor. And Ryan Serhant, well, he is probably the ultimate case study in how to leverage this kind of platform to go way beyond just selling houses. He didn't just sell more properties because he was on TV. He saw the show as a launchpad to build a massive, diversified media and business empire. He wrote best-selling books like Sell It Like Serhant, sharing his sales secrets with the entire world. Then he took the huge, and I mean huge, risk of launching his own brokerage, Serhant, putting his own name on the line in one of the toughest industries out there. And he didn't even stop there. He went on to create a whole real estate training program and a media company, essentially turning his expertise into a teachable system and monetizing his brand to build a new generation of agents. He turned TV fame into a multi-headed business empire that today almost operates independently from the show that made him famous in the first place. Then you've got Frederick Eklund. He used the show's incredible visibility to achieve a truly global reach. Now, he was already a top broker in New York, don't get me wrong, but the show made his name, and that famous high kick of his, recognizable to real estate fans all over the planet. This immense personal brand recognition is what allowed him to expand his business way beyond Manhattan, setting up shop and dominating in other key luxury markets like LA, Miami, you name it. He became the very definition of an international luxury broker, a household name that's synonymous with the most exclusive properties in the world, all thanks to the incredible platform the show gave him. And of course, on the West Coast, you have Josh Altman. He just masterfully used the show to cement his status as the undisputed king of LA luxury real estate, especially in that super exclusive platinum triangle of Beverly Hills, Bel Air, and the Hollywood Hills. The show was like a constant amplifier for his reputation as this tough, relentless negotiator, a real closer. It made him the absolute go-to agent for celebrities, athletes, and titans of industry. He literally became synonymous with the market he works in, growing this huge media presence that just further solidified his brand as the top dog and a city that's full of top agents. Seeing the success of these agents is such a powerful reminder of what's possible when you combine real expertise with incredible visibility. And hey, speaking of achieving your own goals, this is a good moment for me to mention before we continue, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and check out the links in the description if you're looking for a real estate agent in your market or you need life insurance. My team and I can help you anywhere nationwide. This quote, it really cuts to the heart of why the show was such a powerful engine for these careers. It gave them two absolutely priceless assets in any sales industry: credibility and exposure. The exposure part is obvious, right? Millions of people tuning in every single week. But the credibility, that's more subtle, and it's actually even more powerful. By letting cameras follow their every move, they were offering what we call social proof on a scale that was just unimaginable before. Viewers didn't just hear that they were good at their jobs, they saw them navigate unbelievably complex deals, handle difficult clients, and close sales under immense pressure. That built a level of trust and familiarity that no billboard or magazine ad could ever dream of achieving. It was like the ultimate client testimonial, playing out for an hour every week on national television. Okay, so now let's zoom out a bit. The impact of Million Dollar Listing wasn't just about the agents on the screen. The show created this massive ripple effect that fundamentally changed the entire real estate industry, top to bottom. We're moving beyond the individuals now and looking at the really profound market-wide shifts that happened just because this show existed. This slide right here illustrates the single biggest change. Before the show, like we talked about, agents were these faceless professionals hiding under the big brand of their company. Their brokerage's name, like a Sotheby's or a Coldwell Banker, was way more important than their own name. After the show, that whole model got flipped completely on its head. The agent became the brand. The public's idea of what a real estate agent could be was permanently changed. They were now entrepreneurs, they were marketers, they were media personalities and public figures. So the key takeaway here is that this show made the very idea of an agent as a personal brand not just acceptable, but desirable. And that core shift in perception, it led to so many other changes across the industry. For one, public interest in luxury real estate just exploded. People started following market trends and record-breaking sales like they were sports scores. The show also set totally new standards for how you market a property. Those slick Twilight open houses, the cinematic property videos, the high-end virtual staging you saw in the show, that quickly became the expectation in the real world, even for homes that weren't in that multi-million-dollar bracket. It even changed how we view negotiations, turning what used to be a very private process into a kind of public spectator sport. And of course, its huge success led to a whole wave of spin-offs and international versions, proving just how universal the appeal of this formula really was. But, we have to be realistic here. It's important to look behind the curtain. While the rewards were obviously incredible, we can't ignore the intense, almost unbearable pressure these agents were dealing with. They were operating in a total pressure cooker. Think about it. On one hand, you have a legal duty to serve your client's best interest and protect their privacy. On the other hand, you have a TV production crew constantly in your face, a crew that lives for drama, for conflict, for access. It's an incredibly difficult tightrope to walk, trying to manage a multi-million-dollar deal while a camera is capturing every single hesitation, every flicker of frustration. It really says a lot about the skill and the sheer nerve of the people who could pull that off, season after season. All right, let's bring it all home. It's time to distill everything we've talked about into the core legacy of million-dollar listing. What are the big lessons? What are the key takeaways that we can all learn from its success, whether we're in real estate or any other profession in this crazy modern world? If you boil it all down, there are 3 crucial lessons that really stand out from the show's legacy. First and foremost, your personal brand matters a lot. The show proved that in today's economy, you are part of the product. Your reputation, your story, your public identity, those are powerful assets that can be your single biggest advantage. Second, leverage media for visibility. Whether that's TV, social media, a podcast, whatever. Finding a platform to showcase what you know can be a massive career booster, putting you in front of opportunities you would never find otherwise. But the third lesson is maybe the most important, because it's the foundation for everything else. Relationships and trust are still king. The media exposure was the amplifier, but it would have been totally worthless if these agents weren't fundamentally great at their jobs. The bedrock of their success was, and still is, their ability to build real trust and maintain strong, lasting relationships with their clients. And when you get right down to it, that's the story of Million Dollar Listing. It took the iconic vertical world of the New York skyline and the sprawling, luxurious mansions of LA and used them as a stage for a completely new kind of career path. It showed us in vivid, dramatic color how to turn cameras into careers and how to transform lights and action into multi-million-dollar transactions. And in doing so, it blurred the lines between business and entertainment forever, leaving a permanent mark on both worlds. And that leaves us with one final, pretty heavy question to think about for ourselves. Because the legacy of this show goes way beyond real estate. In a world where every single one of us is encouraged to have a personal brand on LinkedIn, on Instagram, on TikTok, what is the line between your profession and your performance? How much of our work life is actually about doing the job, and how much of it is now about performing the job for an audience? It's a complicated question that this show forces us to confront, and it's more relevant in today's world than ever before. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the business of entertainment, please do me a favor and hit that like button, share this explainer with someone you think would find it interesting, and make sure you're subscribed for more insights just like this. And one last time, for those of you who are ready to make your own big move, don't forget to check out the links in the description to learn more about your real estate and life insurance opportunities. Thanks for watching.